Come on, man. Come on, man.
Look at you. Where we at? That's right. Come on in. Come on in, family.
Come on, man.
Where y'all at? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at you.
All my money is given to the
let me answer that.
What the hell they talking
Let me
about?
tell you. Let me.
Yeah, when I came on the scene, I'ma talk about it. I wasn't even tripping, you know what I mean? I know they mad, but I'ma talk about it. But they was coming at the Moors like they was half crazy. Yeah, watch me talk about it. I don't care, I talk about it. Forced me to expose these people, but they love reality. So yeah, I'ma talk about it. These frauds are mad, make no mistake. I exposed the fake, I made their pockets lose weight. 2023 was foul, polite went on trial for a lesser charge, but it still equate to raping a child. We left her and her mother scarred in this fraud. Went on IG saying that they dropped the charges. Regardless, I never been a co-conspirator. He put that fraud in front of people, that's why we hearing them. Red and blue pill went up the Stone Mountain, trying to get the power out of rock, shooting the video, bouncing. Brother Rich think he slick like a wizard, pushing pseudoscience, but he called it metaphysics. Billy Carson did the first annual conscious award. King Simon was smiling like a Jessica at a court. No spaceships, no aliens, but a whole lot of crackers. But at least he got an underground city if they attack us. And the FDA caught, they keep getting jerked. 1 million for a club and the toilet don't work. Okay, let's keep it a buck. It ain't nothing but a club that can't sell alcohol, tickets, or grub. In the city, about to shut them down at any given moment. Tariq got a mortgage that I'm telling he own it. Meet X conference for vendors, the black agenda. Ain't nobody show, I guess they gone to November. It don't matter to me, no, it don't matter to me. See, I don't even know why they even got me started, you know what I mean? I do it for the people, only for the people, for real. Why do they even try to test me? It don't matter to me, no, it don't matter to me. You know what I mean? If you ain't right and you call my name, it's going down. Let's go. You heard? Yeah. Come on, girls, I got one. Let's go. Meet X was cussing everybody out online. She was crying, ain't lying. Oh my God, I was dying. Nepal showed it all just a year before, but this year she topped that for sure. Donetta gave Jezebel keys to the safe. Said she took 6 racks. The people paid for the debate. The debate didn't happen, so she left the East. Flew to Cali, let killer priest kill them chiefs. I keep telling these people, it's not a game.
Look at
you don't want me on your heels. Let's get it. Tony the closer was digging in everybody folder. He tried to warn you. Jay Morrison was getting over. Jay closed the door, so real estate fund. Everybody who fell for the scam was looking dumb. Boys looking like a clown trying to defend it. Talking like a bad investment just ended. Come on, boys. It was a scam, boys. Won't you just admit it? Young Pharaoh talking crazy. He need to be committed. He claimed them shrooms that made him a loon. Nature boy went to jail. What he need is a padded room. It's too disgusting to go into detail. How him and Young Pharaoh like girls who are males. Go figure. They all like mentally ill. Garfield and Jagger Squad are the only only one who kept it real. Missouri, I started running with whack. On the real, I'm still waiting for the cap to come back. Yeah, I seen him on no jumper with the Fed and the devil. And that ain't the captain that I wanna remember. I don't wanna remember that captain. Remember Big Shirley, Crystal Muhammad, Uncle Suge, Yuck Bey, with all that drama. Queen Throne, Dr. Inky, they all came against me. Their channel is a graveyard, they rest in peace. And feces and dung, look what they become. Let that be a warning for those who want some. Malik Lulu Shabazz had to quit his post. Do Black Panther Party, ain't nothing but cutthroats. Ops and informants, I exposed them all. And a few real ones salute, you know who you are. 30 years marching and Bull Hill talking. Suited and booted, but ain't nobody sparking. Ozone got 30 years running with these fools. The ultimate setup, informants got away smooth.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I try to warn you.
I think very deeply.
I'm trying to tell you.
I think very deeply.
I really do. That boy good. Sharif Bey said he would debate the sheik. Then he tucked his tail, and I haven't heard a beat. Straight fraternity guys should be a fraternity boy. Cause they have poop babies when I swing that sword. I put Roy Bey on quiet time like a junkie. Commission had that, then became silent and funk. You might not know that fraud, but rest assured that he ain't got a government, he ain't no more. Wesley Muhammad spent all year talking about Malcolm, trying to convince us NOI didn't scalp him. We don't believe you, so put it to bed. Back then I think NOI was the the feds. I know Malcolm flex mad, but it don't make sense. Recently, Wesley only talk about spaceships, the mothership and baby planes flying above us. That's about as well as Ali Muhammad's government. If I forgot you, I ain't forget. Don't worry. Next year gonna be here. It's gonna be here. I'm gonna get you for sure. You gonna do something crazy. Cause that's what you do. That's what you do. You heard? We gonna make them have some poop babies tonight. Yeah, we gonna make them have some poop babies tonight. What fool still donating to Umar school? It's like they wanna be fooled. What up, Sister Candy? What up, original people? We gonna make them have some poop babies tonight. Black girls read. Umar school. I said my people be slipping. We ain't gonna hold you up. Don't let me hold you. So to the Moorish TV citizens, bear with me. I got one more to lay down. I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. Light work. I'll be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it was straight fact. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European how to bathe, and look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But where the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I'll be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I'll be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler, this era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it. Yeah, y'all gotta bear with me. They try to kill the prophet. I gotta break this all the way down. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. Saying this enough for my vast estate. My town, my sheriff, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You know I'ma be calm down.
night, 'cause I got work to do.
Your neighbor, that's why you killing, fighting, marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish world, come on and build it with me, let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tarharka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, oh yeah. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharka Bey front line till the law call my number.
Hey, we about to work in a minute.
More you gon' remember.
Hey, fam, I want to make sure that you share this to everybody, because this is the last time that I'm going to discuss this on this channel.
Till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA.
One of the reasons.
I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember.
One of the reasons I stopped discussing this on this channel because it ain't no argument. Check 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? Brother Mazouk Razinel, if you can drop your link to your channel to make sure that nobody blocked you by mistake or that YouTube didn't block you, drop it in our messenger, your YouTube link. And I can click that link real quick and I can find out. You know what I mean? If you've been blocked by mistake, Brother Mazouk Razinel. So, fam, I want to make sure that everybody drop it in that Facebook Messenger. I need the link to your YouTube channel. That way I can hit the link and go to your channel and make sure that you are able to comment. Now, if anybody is trying to comment and you can't comment, I'm gonna give you a second. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm not gonna do this much more. I don't believe that this deserves my attention anymore. You know what I mean? I don't believe that this deserves my attention. Let me show you, family, if you are familiar with this conversation, press 7. I need to know if you are familiar with this conversation. Are you familiar with this conversation between myself, Sharif Anael Bey, Moorish Science of America Incorporated? I'm going to do a quick recap, but press 7 if you're familiar with the conversation, because I want to bring people up to speed real quickly so I can get into this conversation. For those who are not familiar with this conversation, Brother Dennis, for those who are not familiar with this conversation, let me give you the backdrop. The person that you see on the screen right here, Sharif Anael Bey, has hid in the shadows in the bushes for years, at least 3 years, watching me do a presentation illustrating the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, there was a guy named Sharif Bey, very, very heartful and heart-filled guy that's a part of their Moorish administration, and he was one who would always defend all of this crazy history, and it never made sense to me why he wouldn't debate me. So it came to the point where his grand sheik jumped out the window. His name is Yusuf Cyrus L. Jumped out the window and said he would debate me. For whatever reason, that conversation turned into that he won a boxing match, and I'm like, okay, but let's get this debate on too. I don't know what happened to this debate, the boxing match, whatever. Neither here and there. But the funny part about it is that these brothers are supposed to be seasoned Moorish Americans. And within their administration, they hold these high, lofty titles, per se. One is a Grand Sheik, and Sharif is a Grand Sheik of this, or whatever they call themselves over there. But I know he's the press secretary also. After this show, I will not be talking to press secretaries. I will not be talking to Grand Sheiks. I will only talk to leaders of that organization. And that means Hopkins Bey, R. Jones Bey, and that's it. Because these people right here, like Sharif, they're out of their league. I used to have a lot of respect for this guy until this series of conversations that we had. And I just watched this guy lie and lie and lie and lie. Unbelievable to me at the level of lying that this brother do and claims to be a Moorish American. And what I'm saying by that is, being a Moorish American, you're supposed to have some sort of integrity, because that's what the system of the Moorish Science Temple of America calls for. It calls for integrity. It calls for honesty. It calls for you to be able to stand on what you say that you believe. And this brother has yet to do that. So if you see my previous videos, I did 2 videos. And in each video, I had screen shares with 95% of the things that I've said as it relates to this being an infiltrated organization claiming to be the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm of the thought that Sharif Anael Bey, Hopkins Bey, R. Jones Bey, and all the leaders over there are familiar with this conversation, that they are perpetuating the infiltrated version of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I stand on it, and I defend it with research. What are you saying, Brother Tarharka Bey? That's a heavy statement. I'm saying that when Prophet Noble Drew Ali transitioned, there was a group of Moors that helped him transition from the flesh. I'm saying that one of those group of Moors was Kirkman Bey, that was aligned with Claude Green Bey, that tried to overthrow the Prophet, ultimately stabbed the Prophet in front of his house, home, temple. Now, I'm not saying that it was Kirkman Bey that did it. I'm saying he was a part of the group that conspired to have it done. History records that Kirkman Bey was ultimately accused of the actual stabbing at one time. You hear what I'm saying? History records that, not me. History records that. So, in my journey, I would find it hard to understand. I would find it hard to understand why this great movement that I have come to love, that have saved me from me, why was it so hard to find in history books or in the public? We seen the NOI everywhere. We seen the Hebrew Israelites everywhere. We seen the Christians everywhere. But why don't we see the movement that started it all? That's what took me on the journey to find out. And what I would find out, that there was a great infiltration that has lasted, listen to me, from 1927 until present day. There has been an infiltration. And this infiltration was orchestrated by brothers within the Masonic fraternal organizations. I'm not saying that the Masonic fraternal organizations are the devil or are evil. I can only show you what history says as it relates to the contribution that they made to the demise, quote unquote, because everything happens for a reason, of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So this correlates with the conversation that we have in our Moorish Science Temple of America, with the occult and present day organizations in Hollywood. Well, we'll get back on that tomorrow. This correlates because there's always been secret organizations to overthrow or to mislead, misguide our people into a brick wall. And this is Kirkman Bey. As you can read, this is an article. A battle started shortly before noon when a squad of police marched into the large apartment house on South Parkway near 42nd Street in a quest of the kidnappers of Kirkman Bey, who styles himself as Grand Vizier Bey of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Kirkman, perhaps because he aspired the throne made vacant in June by the death of the chief protector of Islam, was torn from his breakfast table this morning by 4 cultists and carried away. Now, Kirkman Bey was also, again, as I said previously, accused of having been involved in the death of Prophet Noble Drew Ali in some reports. Today, this organization that was hijacked by this guy on my left still exists till this day. This very hour, Sharif is the press secretary of this organization. I make no qualms about this because we believe those who are seriously interested in the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we know that something isn't right. And I'm here to clarify just what isn't right. So anyway, Sharif Anael Bey chose to challenge me to a debate about the historicity of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the legitimacy of everything that I presented. After Sharif went from saying we was going to do it in Detroit in person, he backed out of that, then said he wanted to do it under the Sinetta TV umbrella. He knew I wasn't going to accept that. The next thing he wanted to do was do it on Doggy Diamonds, and I wasn't going to accept that because Doggy Diamonds is a friend of mine. Doggy Diamonds is a friend of mine, and I didn't want Doggy Diamonds to be in the middle of this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is serious here. This is about people, children, mothers, fathers, national, international principles, and everything in above, everything in between as it relates to building a nation. Family, if you don't understand the conversation, I'll say this and then I'll move on. The Moorish Science Temple of America is predicated upon bringing us into nationhood. What that means is that regardless, forget all that you ever heard on the internet. Regardless of what you heard on the internet, the Moorish Science Temple of America is predicated upon bringing our people back into nationhood. And what that means is, as Chinese people had to start one brick at a time to build the Great Wall of China, our people are going to have to start one brick at a time building us back into an independent nation. In other words, we are in what they call the melting pot of the United States of America, where there's all different sorts of nationalities. We have Chinese American, we have Italian American, we have Korean American, we have on and on and on and on. But the so-called African American, the Black American, or the Negro, or whatever we choose to call ourselves this hour, the difference between us and them is that the Chinese American can trace himself back to China, and for all intents and purposes, if he wanted to go back to China, he could go back to China because he have a home in China. The Korean could go back to Korea. The Russian can go back to Russia. The so-called African American, what country is he going to? We have been plucked from different societies, different nations, and different cultures from the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, as well as the indigenous Americas. So where are we going? Family, we ain't going nowhere. The planet is ours. Our only alternative is to build our own in the midst of this madness. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali came to put us in position to do that. Because it was so real, and we are the burden bearers of the nation, of the world, infiltration took place. This infiltration was led by those that look like us, talk like us, walk like us, and even dress like us. When you see this fez is one of the most feared headwear on the planet. This is why Europeans, when they conquered somebody, they would don the fez. The Masons don the fez. Their armies don the fez. The Turks don the fez. The fez is indigenous of North Africa, the Moorish American fez. You understand what I'm saying? But the powers that be know this. And so the infiltration has been 100 years and counting, because the science of going from nothingness back to nationhood is the only thing that's going to save us as a people, whether you believe it or not. You don't have to believe it. But when the Mexican or someone south of the border come here, by nature, they cluster into neighborhoods. By nature, they give each other jobs. By nature, they make sure one help the other. When they get comfortable, they might fall off of those national principles, but initially, they hold strong to those national principles because they have a nation, nationality, they got principles, and they understand the principles that come with that history. And so they naturally help each other. When a Korean come here, they look for the Korean community. When a Chinese person come here, they look for little China. When an Italian come here, they look for little Italy. They look for the people that has the same history with them so they can help get them on their feet. But we have yet to establish ourselves post-slavery. And the only thing that we got left is to build it ourselves. And in the process of going to build it ourselves, you feel me? In the process of building it ourselves, there is going to be infiltration. And that's what happened to the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that's why you don't hear about the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's why my voice is so loud. That's why I yell so loud. Because where you see infiltration, whether it's in the Black Power community, whether it's in the Hebrew community, whether it's in the Christian community, whether it's in any one of the houses, the Kemetic community, no matter where you see it, it all looks the same. Because it's the same hidden hand that's working our people like a puppet against one another. It's all the same. This is why I can speak on what's going on in the NOI as it relates to the brother coming or from Muhammad coming from California. I can speak to that. I can speak to that. So the brother says, shouldn't the Moors try to go back to North Africa since they had a stronghold there? Page, those days are long gone, brother. North Africa has a history that they made up that says that every dark person or black skin or dark skinned person in North Africa came there as a slave. The French, the blended French and the blended Spanish of North Africa now hold a pseudo history that the whole nation go by. Where we lay our hat is our home today. We are indigenous of the planet. We don't have to go back anywhere. Wherever we lay our hat is our home. We need to begin the building process of our independence immediately. We need to organize, stop trying to filter in. It's okay to try to filter in and use some of the systems that we have at our disposal. But there gotta be a constituent that main focus is building for self. Being self-reliant. Learning how to harness the water that you can drink and protect. Learning how to harness the energy that you can use and it can serve you and nobody can destroy it. Learning how to operate in the midst of the devil. That's where we got to be at now. We got to know the sciences of operating in the midst of the devil. And until we understand that, we will be taken advantage of. But now, back to this presentation. There's a few things that I got to say before I get started. One of the things that I got to say is that I got the link where Sharif Anael Bey gave his rebuttal to my presentations. He did it on NYP Talk Show. All right? He did it on NYP Talk Show. The link is in the comment section. I encourage you to go subscribe if you love the content, like the content, or interested in the content. And I definitely implore you to go look at his rebuttal. The link is in the comment section. Now, let me say to Ron Brown. Ron Brown said he invited me on the show before anybody. Now, initially, I was going to go on the show to talk about Moorish Science. I didn't know his plan for the show. But before I could go on the show, he had what I would call colorful Moorish Americans on the show. What do I mean by colorful Moorish Americans? You know, the same internet mumbo jumbo. The prophet did this, the prophet did this, all of this pseudoscience, pseudo history. And once I seen that, I said, I'm not going on that show. Because no matter what I say, the audience is going to think, because the public is unstable, the audience is going to think that this is a bumper, this is a bunch of bumping Moors talking crazy. I don't believe that the public would be able to decipher, his audience, I'm not talking about us, would able to decipher the gum bumping and the mumbo jumbo between me presenting proof and them just talking. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I was like, nah, I'm not going on there. I got to protect the brand that we have here. We have integrity here. I'm not taking myself in front of anybody camera that will bring any and everybody to their stage and don't critique them when they talk crazy. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying. If we're gonna teach people and somebody come and talk crazy, the host should say, can you prove that? And if the host is not going to hold that standard, I'm not coming on there just to talk. I'm a teacher by nature, I would imagine. I'm not coming there just to be a talking head. And we just going to go back and forth with conversation and nobody really learning nothing? Nah, I'm not going on there. Talk about what? You got these colorful Moors up there talking this crazy madness. No. I'm not, no. That'll be like Jay-Z at this hour going on Jenny Jones. Not saying the brother show is like Jenny Jones. I'm just saying the caliber of conversation that we having is not worth my brand. That's right. This is a brand. Moorish World TV is a brand of integrity. I'm not taking it there. Now, if he would check misinformation, I wouldn't mind. But nah. With that being said, family, let's get it started now. One of the things that I want to show you, family, I want to lay out to you about this conversation. If you haven't been following it, go and check the video. So let me show you one of the things that I want to start this off is I want you to understand what pseudo history is. Pseudo history is a form of pseudo scholarship that attempts to distort or misrepresent historical records, often by employing methods resembling those used in scholarly historical research. This is what Sharif Anael Bey does. He employs pseudo history. Now the sad thing about it is, recently I realized, like, hold up, he's been doing this the whole time, even when I liked the brother. I was like, wow, This guy been doing this the whole time. This is why you have to be careful about personality worship. If you got a friend, you still got to hold them to truth. You see what I'm saying? Because if not, you could be personality worshiping and don't even know. You see what I'm saying? Because the moment that I figure out that you're lying, I kind of shy away from you, especially if you claim to be a teacher. So, pseudo history. The related term crypto history is applied to pseudo history derived from the superstition intrinsic to occultism. Pseudo history is related to pseudoscience and pseudo archaeology, and the use of the terms may occasionally overlap. Although pseudo history, let me shrink it down so you can understand, because this is how we're going to start the conversation. Pseudo history comes in many forms. Scholars have identified many features that tend to be common in pseudo historical works. One example is that the use of pseudo history is almost always motivated by contemporary political, religious, and personal agenda. And some of these slides that I'm going to share with you tonight, you're going to understand that this is motivated by political, religious, and personal agenda. Follow what I'm saying? Be patient, Sister Yasmin. It's coming up. It's coming up. You got to be patient. You've been here long enough. Come on, Yasmin. Work with me. So, pseudo history also frequently presents sensational claims or a big lie about historical facts, which will require unwarranted revision of historical records. This is what you can find with Sharif Anael Bey. You know what I'm saying? And you can find all of these people who don't show receipts to what they're talking about. Fam, I want all the Moors to share this to all the Moorish American platforms. It says, a common feature of pseudo-history is an underlying premise that there is a conspiracy among scholars to promote so-called mainstream history over true history, an assertion commonly corroborated by elaborate conspiracy theories. Works of pseudo-history often point exclusively to unreliable sources. This describes Sharif Anael Bey. He's using pseudo-history. Complete pseudo-history. And you're going to see it in a minute. Including myths and legends often treated as literal historical truth. To support the thesis being promoted while ignoring valid sources that contradict it. Every source that I bring up contradicts their verbal historical account of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Every one I bring up contradicts it. And these are sources that can be verified. But they act like they don't see them. It says sometimes a work of pseudo-history will adopt a position of historical relativism, insisting that there is really no such thing as historical truth and that any hypothesis is just as good as any other. This is when they say, well, we wasn't here. How can we say what happened? Anybody heard that? Did any more see the video of Sharif Anael Bey response? Press 7 if you more seen it. Because one of the main themes that he kept saying is, well, we wasn't there. Okay. Here you go. We can only make an opinion because we wasn't there. And in this opinion, no. This is how they rubber stamp pseudo history, because they make everything invalid, which is not true. That's why we source our claims. This is why we source our claims. So no one can off the rip. You know what I mean? So no one can off the rip try to disqualify valid sources. No. Now I'm gonna slowly go into it. One thing I want to point out is one of the guys that was a friend of mine, he's still a friend of mine, I would imagine, a brother that defends Sharif Anael Bey. We was talking in the back chat, and I say to the brother, is that it? Nah. I think this is, okay, I just want this part right here. I say to the brother, I'm asking him to make sure Sharif bring at least a few matching receipts when he respond. No fluffy explanations. Now, you know and I know if you seen the presentation, all you seen was fluffy explanation. Press 7 if you didn't see any receipts. How many receipts did Sharif Anael Bey show in the whole hour of presentation? Anybody know? He showed 2 pieces of paper that he held up to the camera. Do you realize that Sharif Anael Bey is an author? Do you realize that Sharif Anael Bey had over 150, 200 slides to debate Reggie? Are you aware that this guy is fully capable? This guy is fully capable of pulling receipts if they exist? Are you aware of that? That he's fully capable if the receipts exist. I told y'all before that the receipts do not exist. So the only thing he can do is give fluffy explanations. And I told the guy who personality worships him the exact same thing. That's all he can do. And I say to the brother, this is the 4th. I say, why are y'all so quiet now, asking for a friend? I know it's a bunch of excuses, explaining going on, but members should demand receipts with the illogical, logical explanations. In other words, I know Sharif Bey is going to give illogical, in his mind, they're logical explanations. You understand? In his mind, they're logical, but they're illogical. So I said, the members of the MST of A Inc. should demand receipts. Press 7 if you hear what I'm saying. The members should demand receipts because the members are watching Taharkabey too. They should demand receipts. They should not put their life, their finance, and all of their energy in something that can be proven, but people refuse to step up to the plate. That's called a grift. So he says, now I know you don't think that was a rebuttal. That's keeping the prophet out front. He's talking about his explanation. You know we're still Moorish American, however. Sharif got you. And the only thing I'm speaking to is what he's saying on Facebook. I say, where is your receipts? At this point, you're sounding a lot delusional. Now, I'm speaking chopped up English, I guess. You're sounding delusional. Sharif has not presented one response or one shred of evidence on his position. Let you say Sharif got you. That's a classic definition. That's a classic delusional. That's classic delusional by definition. That these, I don't know what's up with these commercials. I'm looking at them too. Where are these commercials coming from? And they didn't stop my whole demonstration. Hold up, they tripping. I'm looking at it on my phone, make sure I don't mess up. And I'm seeing commercials roll up, man. YouTube tripping. Hold up. All right, there we go. So here we go. So I say that's classic delusional by definition, right? So let me finish with this last bit of this conversation, and then we're going to get into it. So the same brother, he says, Islam, what makes you think Sharif doesn't have receipts? I'm glad you know that those are random viewers who don't know nothing about the inner works of the MST of A. Therefore, positions are fine with us. I do find it interesting that you constantly talk about Sharif, have you blocked, but then you turn around and publicly block Sharif Anael Bey. It's because he's not a random viewer. And so I addressed him on that. I'll talk about that in a second. Again, you cannot rush the truth. This is it. This is his response. This is one of their adapts. This is one of their learned members over there, right? You feel me? This is one of their learned members. How can we, somebody say, how can we, let me see. I mean, if you ain't following the story, you can't. That's a dumb question, brother. Don't be silly. How can we be sure that the rebuttal is a rebuttal to you? I'm going to block you because you're a troll. Now, if you're going to get in and learn, how can we be sure that the NYP show was a rebuttal to you? We're going to show it in a minute. That's how. I'm a receipt guy. Anyway, Sharif is well aware of the circumstantial presentation. And like I said, he got you. That was on the 5th, right? Now. Oh, hold up. That was on the 5th. Let me see what I said. Yeah, let me say what I said. So, what I said about, I say Sharif is annoying, and he never took the opportunity to address me directly. He simply spams the chat. He agrees to online debate 3 years ago, and every year after, he never followed through. Why should I take him seriously or waste my time with him? Sharif is using my words. I said some of the evidence is circumstantial. He flips that into his own narrative. This is sad for anyone who calls themselves a lover of truth and knowledge. You are here as a cult member, not the lover of truth. Now we're going to get started. Right? Now, that should set the tone to take us where we need to go. Now, one of the things that we need to right out the gate is I explained pseudo history, and I'm going to give you an example of pseudo history coming from one of their leaders. And this is the foundation of misinformation in the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is one of the foundational lies, and it might shock you. Listen to the lie.
And I sent for the grand chief and the chairman so that they could hear. Is something that that's come to my attention recently, and that I wanted to pass it on because you may be confronted with it. In other lands are not known by other people, whereas Noble Raleigh is known throughout the world. Noble Raleigh is known in other countries, and other people know that we have a the chairman so that they could hear. Is something that that's come to my attention recently, and that I wanted to pass it on because you may be confronted with it, and that's this. Now, sometimes our people think that our prophet is not known in other lands or not known by other people, whereas Noble Raleigh is known throughout the world. Noble Raleigh is known in other countries, and other people know that we have a prophet here.
For those who don't know, that this is R. Love L. He was the Supreme Grand Sheikh and moderator from 1971 to 2002 with the organization that I'm talking about. Carry on.
And they know that our people are ignorant. I'm talking about the unconscious Asiatics, not the Moorish Americans, are ignorant of the fact that there's a prophet born in this age and in this time. And our prophet is known in the East and also in Muslim countries. But the thing is, he's known there by another name. He's known as the Prophet Sharif Ali. The Prophet Sharif Ali, the word Sharif means noble.
That's a lie.
He's known in these lands, and most recently, even yesterday.
So there's a common theme in the Moorish Science Temple of America pseudo groups that Prophet Noble Drew Ali traveled over to the east and he got the name Sharif Ali. That's a pseudo historical lie. This is one of the pseudo lies that often plagues the Moorish Science Temple of America, where people make up stories like the Prophet went to Saudi Arabia, they gave him this title called Sharif Ali, and they honored him as a prophet. This is a flat out lie, and it's a pseudo historical lie at that. It's a horrible lie. It's a horrible lie, and this is the lie where people wonder where that lie came from. You hear a lot of people saying it. You hear a lot of people say, oh, they infiltrated the prophet movement, but they repeating the lie that the infiltrator put into the public. Listen to this lie. This is a flat out lie. A flat out lie. There is no evidence to this.
I received a call from a person who was a relative, a fellow who was who used to be married to my niece, who's a Muslim, who told me in a meeting with Turks and Albanians, these here people told him that they know about, these people knew about the Moorish Science Temple of America, told him about the Moorish Science Temple of America, told him the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America, told him who the prophet was, and told him that they know of him in that land, in those lands as the prophet Sharif Ali, and then told him about the history of this organization with the successors after the prophet. And
see, what they're trying to do is define the succession. And so they make up pseudo history. And you hear what he said. Listen to what he said. They know about the successor of the prophet because they know that our ignorant self would believe foreigners before we believe actual history. Listen.
Sharif Ali, and then told him about the history of this organization with the successors after the prophet. And he wrote them down, and I confirmed what they told him the same thing that we know, that the prophet came, and after his passing, Brother Tarharka Bey was the moderator afterwards, and then Brother F. Nelson Bey and Brother J. Blakely Bey. And these people, they know this, and these...
Fam, let me stop right there. Let me stop right there. Let me stop right there. How can we say that this is a holy and divine movement? Brother, let me say this to Alamo Moore. You don't want clarity. You don't want clarity. Go watch the video. You don't want clarity. We don't play them games over here. How do we know it's a response? Because you got to watch me respond, and you'll know it's a response. Now, here we go. And if you keep on playing these games, you're just going to get blocked because we ain't playing over here. I ain't got time for this. Now, here we go. This guy is supposed to be the leader of a religious organization that's predicated upon raising people from their carnal self into their divine self. And for all intents and purposes, he's flat out lying. They say that this is a holy and divine movement, yet this guy is flat out lying. He's lying to the 10th power. This is supposed to be a man of Allah. This is supposed to be a man of God. This is supposed to be a man of integrity. How do I say that he's lying with so much confidence? Because we got evidence that the prophet went to Cuba by boarding a ship, and we got the ship manifesto. Why don't you have the evidence in which you claim? See, the message of the lie is to confirm the pseudo leadership that hijacked the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's Moorish Science Temple of America. Listen again. This is why the lie.
The fact that there's a prophet born in this age and in this time. And our prophet is known in the East and also in Muslim countries.
He's using this to confirm their historical standing as the leaders of the MST of A.
The prophet Sharif Ali, the word Sharif means noble, and he's known in these lands. And most recently, even yesterday, I received a call from a person who was a relative, a fellow who used to be married to my niece.
A person who's a relative. Bring him up. It's too late now.
Who's a Muslim, who told me in a meeting with Turks and Albanians, these here people told him that they know about, these people knew about the Moorish Science Temple of America, told him about the Moorish Science Temple of America, told him the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Here is the Mickey and the drink. This is why, Yasmin, he's trying to confirm the pseudo history by adopting this conversation that's most likely made up. Listen what he said about the leadership.
America, told him who the prophet was, and told him that they know of him in that land, in those lands, as the prophet Sharif Ali. Then told him about the history of this organization with the successors after the prophet, and he.
This is the key.
Wrote him down, and I confirmed what they told him the same thing that we know, that the prophet came, and after his passing, Brother Tarharka Bey was the moderator afterwards, and then Brother F. Nelson.
He's confirming the actual people that overthrew the organization and took it as their own as the actual leaders after Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's the purpose of the story. And the listener will believe this story without a shred of evidence.
And Brother J. Blakely Bey. And these people, they know this in these foreign lands. And they told him about it, even telling him about some of the people who have led people astray. They're aware of it. And just like I told him, just like in this country, they got CIA and FBI to take and investigate people. Those foreign people know about what's going on in this land, and especially with people in Islam. But I wanted the Moors and everybody to know that our prophet is known up in other lands and known there by the name Sharif Ali. And they know that he's a prophet. And anybody that studies the Holy Quran of Mecca knows that Prophet Muhammad and also the Holy Quran of Mecca tells you that Jesus, son of Mary, will return. And Noble Dralik is that Jesus, son of Mary. That's the only thing I want to come up to be a part of.
So that is called pseudo-history. That is called pseudo-history at its finest. And it's a shame that people would make up history and don't even blink an eye. Don't even blink an eye. But that's pseudo-history. Now, let's get into Sharif pseudo-responses. Now, one of the things that I want to pick out first is, yes, Sharif Ali is pseudo-history. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was never given no name Sharif Ali. That's pseudo-history. Now, let's get started. Let's listen to.
I want to go into why
Bey.
does the organization under Kirkman Bey have convention minutes? Why doesn't the organization under Kirkman Bey have convention minutes for the years 1930 to 1932?
Good questions. All right. First, let me preface my answer because it's a good, the answer is historical. Let me preface the answer with this statement. In the questionnaire, we asked the questions asked. What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? Answer, 1913 AD. Where? Newark, New Jersey. Right? 1925 is when the Prophet set aside the first temple in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. 3 years later was the first convention. Where are the minutes from 1913 to 1928?
Listen to the Masonic play around. He said the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded in 1913. Where are the minutes from 1913 to 1928? This is the game that he's playing. He understands that the movement was a thought in the heart or mind of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but it did not materialize as a movement on paper or a movement in reality until, let me change that because I don't want nobody to get me wrong. It didn't turn into a movement legitimately on paper until 1925. So there would be no minutes from 1913 to 1920. He knows this though, but he's using these brothers' platform, which you'll see in a minute that he gave these brothers questions to ask him. He gave brothers these questions, and he thought he would be slick in answering these questions. So the question that he asked is, the question that he asked is, where are the minutes from 1913? He knows. See, Sharif playing a game. He's so disingenuous. He knows that the movement did not become a movement in fact as it relates to paperwork until 1925. He knows that. But these brothers don't know that. And the listener don't know that. And the people who is under his ear thinking that's a slick response.
And here's the real question. Does a lack of minutes constitute a dissolution of the organization?
Now check how disingenuous he is. He says, does a lack of minutes constitute a dissolution of an organization? Let me break it down. He's saying because their organization doesn't have minutes when they're supposed to have it, doesn't mean that an organization does not exist. Yes, when the organization calls for minutes to verify its operation, yes, it does. Just like if you're a corporation, every year you must file what? A report. Press 7 if you understand. Every year, the corporation that the religious corporation that Prophet Noble Ali set up, there must be minutes to verify that it is operating. And if you are a corporation, as it relates to a United States corporation of other persuasion, you have to have some sort of paperwork to validate that it's operating. But listen to the Masonic trick.
Well, we know the obvious answer is no.
No.
And they're saying no. This shows how uneducated we are. And Sharif is a businessman. Sharif owns a business. He knows good and well for an organization that is a legitimate legal entity, there got to be some proof that it's operating. He knows this. He knows this. So for him to say this is just devilish at best. He knows better because he's a business owner. He's a business owner. He knows. He knows that the organization did not go on paper until 1925. He knows this. But he's being disingenuous.
Right. This is what's important. See? All
so
right.
There aren't any minutes from 1913 to when?
This is what you had, 1932. Now this is what. Let me be very specific. There are people that ask that question, and one of the reasons they ask that question is because they're also under another illusion. They're under the illusion that absence of minutes means absence of an organization. That's an illusion. They're under another illusion.
That's a lie. Any legal organization that's operating, it need a yearly report or minutes. The administration that he's under, which I'm going to show in a minute, doesn't have any.
Well, what I'm saying is there aren't any minutes from 1913 until when?
No. Oh, till 1928, during the first convention.
There are no minutes from that point to that point.
There were no conventions. Does that mean that the organization didn't exist?
Gotcha.
Okay,
now this is where he's lying at. The Prophet Noble Ali built the movement step by step. The first annual convention didn't happen to 1928. So why he's talking, there's no convention. He's being disingenuous. He's being devilish. He's talking with a forked tongue.
I know. I get what you're saying. Now?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's one illusion. Here's the second illusion, right? The second illusion, which is a big point I want to bring up, is that when people start to say Mealy Eel versus Kirkman Bey, automatically thinking there were two different Moorish Science temples of America during this particular period of time. No, there wasn't. There wasn't. Okay? There wasn't, and yes, we can prove it. What you had from 1930 up until 35, maybe, 34, 35, what you had was two different groups of leaders vying for control of the same temples.
He's lying again. But I'm going to let it play out, and then I'm going to show the source.
That's what you had. Okay? Now, that being said, when people bring up the whole issue about the minutes thing, they're really talking about on the side of the people who followed Brother C. Kirkman Bey. Okay? So they say, why don't they have minutes? Well, here's the answer to that question. What took place? See, again, as you brothers know, when we look at history, we can't look at it in a bubble. We have to look at it within the context of what was going on around in that time period. Exactly. So let's do that. What happens at convention? See, that's another thing too. A lot of people who are even involved in these conversations know nothing about the inner workings of the organization. So what's one of the things that takes place at convention, right? There's convention business of the organization. People are looking at, okay, each temple has X amount of businesses. Each temple is pulling in X amount of finance from dues and assessments. Money. Yeah.
So one of the things that he's saying that his reasoning for not having minutes in one of the videos, he said it was dangerous. And he said they didn't have minutes for whatever reason. They didn't have conventions. You feel what I'm saying? But the whole thing in a nutshell, how is it that he can give excuses for not having convention? You know what I mean? How is it that he can give excuses, but we can show that the actual movement ran by Emeliel had conventions every year? How is it that he get to say that, oh, we don't have minutes because this, because that, but we can show the operation of a movement every year that they don't operate until Emeliel pass? How is that so? How do they get away with that? How do they get away with that? How does he get away with saying that they have a movement but no proof of a movement until Emeliel passes away? And the public is falling for it. And not the public at large, but the people that follow them and put their salvation in their hand. They fall for it. And it's sad. It's sad. They don't have, and what I'm saying for those who don't understand, Emeliel was appointed by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali as the head of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You follow me? They tried to remove Emeliel as they've tried to remove the Prophet. And once they could not do it, they waited for him to pass away, which it was suspected that he was poisoned in 1934. And then they began to operate and take over whatever Emeliel left behind. You see what I'm saying? But at the lifetime of Emeliel and the Prophet, they was trying to take the Prophet out. After the Prophet was transitioned, Emeliel was already in position while the Prophet was in position. So when the Prophet transitioned, automatically Emeliel is in power. So now they're trying to take Emeliel out. But first, before they take him out, they trying to swindle him out of the organization. You follow me? Because what Sharif just said, money. So they're trying to swindle him out of the organization. But they don't have any evidence that on their, one second, they don't have any evidence that, let me bring it up real quick. This is their leadership. They're saying that their leadership started from 1929 with Kirkman Bey. That is a lie. They don't have any operational letters, minutes, or anything from 1929. None whatsoever. Nothing. We have it all. We have it all. They have nothing. And then they said from 1929 to 1959. From 1959 to 62 was F. Nelson Bey. And then J. Blakely Bey. And then R. Lovell, that was the one you just heard. And today, R. Jones Bey. But now, here is what people have to understand, even if you don't want to understand. What you have to understand is this, that while he's talking that crazy stuff, I want to show you something. That's F. Nelson Bey. This is Emiliel's convention. Why is F. Nelson Bey under Emiliel in Temple number 4 if he was with Kirkman Bey? This is Emiliel's convention. Y'all see that? Press 7 if you see that. If they was operating the Moorish Science Temple of America, here's F. Nelson Bey, who will ultimately switch sides. That's F. Nelson Bey, who will ultimately switch sides. But why is he with Emiliel at the 3rd annual convention? There is not two groups fighting. There is one person trying to continue to infiltrate the Moorish Science Temple of America and gain favor with members. That's it. They don't have convention minutes. They don't have convention programs. Temple number 4, you see right there, Cook Bey, all of these people. Nelson Bey, F. Nelson Bey. So what is he talking about that they were operating? How could that be? How could that be, Sharif? You're lying and you claim to represent a divine organization. You don't represent a divine organization. You represent a lying organization. That's what you're representing. That's what you're representing. But now let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get into. So we already covered the no minutes. Let's get into this next disingenuous thing that he says.
Is that, well, you know what? Brother Emiliel rescinded the title, Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator, and sent Brother Kirkman Bey a letter to that effect. Yes, he did. But he did so in 1930.
Pay attention.
We're not mind readers, and we're doing ourselves a disservice to make any decision based on speculating what other people may have been thinking nearly 100 years ago.
We're going to be here for a minute. Come back and watch it tomorrow if you get tired, because I'm going to pop all this out.
That said, the question begs, if he agreed to the position in 29, why wait a whole year to rescind it?
Stop right there. So disingenuous. So disingenuous once again. Once again, I explained this last time. Now, and he's been watching my videos too, because I heard him say something that I've said. This is the program from the 1929 convention. Emiliel explains that Kirkman Bey is on the program and he's the Supreme Grand Advisor. Why? Because in June, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, at the Prophet Noble Drew Ali funeral, Kirkman Bey performed a ceremonial ritual. And in honor to that, he honored him with Supreme Grand Advisor, an honorable mention for the convention. And the flyer or the program is made up way before the convention. Emiliel explains that. And he also explains what I did in the last presentation. You follow me? Also explained. Oh, no, he learned that from me, Crypto. I'm going to explain that in a minute. I also explained that Emiliel said that when he honored him with this title for convention, and I'm saying that, it wasn't for him to take charge of the movement. It was an honorable, just like Dr. Bill Cosby is an honorary doctorate. He has an honorary doctorate. Puffy got an honorary doctorate. That don't mean they're going to go and operate surgery on nobody. And because of that, Emiliel explains that. So at the convention, when he tried to pull the move, I explained this in the last video, when he tried to pull the move, Emiliel immediately said, "You tripping. No. I don't know what you got going on, but it's not happening." So Emiliel, after the convention closed, Emiliel would continue to operate the organization, and he would say Kirkman Bey, I showed that letter last show, I'm not going to dig it up today, he would try to meet with Kirkman Bey and tell him straighten up. Now, when someone is removed in any position in the Moorish Science Temple of America, if it is done post-convention, in other words, he was running around still saying that he was Supreme Grand Sheik, and he added the term moderator. So after convention is over, he is automatically removed, but there's something that everybody knows. It's called actually ratifying it. It was not ratified until the next convention. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that the movement wasn't working, because I showed you if the movement wasn't functioning, how in the world do you have conventions from 1929, 1930, 31, 32, 33? The movement was operating. When someone is removed, it doesn't get ratified until the following convention. That's what this letter is all about. Brother C. Kirkman Bey, this is to notify you that the name organization Moorish Science Temple of America in convention September 15th through the 20th rescinded by voting out the mistake made by the second annual convention. Now, what that means is that the Grand Sheik and chairman can make a decision, but that decision must be approved by the grand body. Me being the Grand Sheik of our administration, I can make a decision. We had a brother, Akhenaten Salam Bey. We took him up on indiscretions, right? He didn't want to show up, so he got removed. We replaced him. I appointed his replacement. Although he was removed, and then I appointed his replacement, and the replacement is acting instead of Akhenaten, we did not ratify it to the next convention. But the movement kept operating. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying, for those who are not members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The movement keep operating, but it actually become actual fact in law the following convention when the whole body agree on it. That's how it works. Because Sharif said it himself, the Moorish Science Temple of America is not a dictatorship. Although the Grand Sheik and chairman can make a decision, but it must be confirmed at a later date. And he knows this. He's not crazy. He knows this, but he's playing games. This shows you how devilish people can be in the name of power and ego. So listen to what he said.
How about that? Why wait a whole year? Now here's another question. Whether, we're not arguing whether the title put him over Neely Eel or not. We're not arguing that. I'm not here to argue that. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Remember what I said about pseudo history?
Right? Obviously, the leaders or a large group of leaders at that time believed so.
That's not
that
true.
Being the case, who ran the organization from 1929 to 1930?
You see the disingenuous? This is what I'm saying. How can this be a holy and divine movement that he's under, and that any people that follow this can claim that this movement is guided by the great universal creator Allah? And he's flat out lying, and he knows better. All the members should not fall for this logic. It doesn't make sense. Nobody in this administration should accept this lie and pay dues to this flawed logic. This is how the church got like it is, where people just pay for personality. And they believe that heaven is going to be in the clouds and Jesus is going to bust through the clouds and all of this stuff. This is no different. Listen to him. Look at him.
Okay. See? A lot of this confusion and conflict is less of a matter of who has information.
He's not making no sense. And responding to my information, he sounds like he's been in prison for 100 years talking crazy. He's not even making real sense. This is why I say this is the last time I'm responding to this. I'm not dealing with this. It doesn't make sense. Now, this is one of Emilio's letters in between conventions. He said, now some of you are with him. Some people was with him. As against the prophet. And I say against the prophet because when you fail to recognize the man that the prophet appointed and give him your cooperation and support, you have virtually turned down the prophet for someone else. And those who I know according to their ways and actions and works, Bro T. Osley, Milwaukee, Bro F. Nelson Bay, Detroit. See, these people were still with Emilio by rocking with him, going back and forth. We have the history that says what's happened to the Moorish Science and Burger. These people infiltrated the Prophet's movement. And this is why people don't know what it looked like till this day. This is why. This is why. There's nothing strange about it. The reason why people don't know what it looked like till this day is because of this infiltration that still exists till this day. Let me get into this one real quick. Listen to this.
They won't develop in one area and underdevelop in another area.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. This is what's happening with this whole thing with Kirkman Bey versus Mealy Hill. Here is the fact, and I'll start with this too. Both Kirkman Bey, right? Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Brother E. Mealy Hill, right? No matter what you say, pro or con, they were both members of an organization. They weren't founders of an organization. They were not prophets. There's a reason why I'm saying that. Is because people would like to, I'm going to say, neither one of them were successors to the prophet. Why? Because nothing succeeds a prophet but another prophet.
That's a fact. So I have a question.
The organization was the prophet birthed the organization. If the organization depended upon the physical presence of a prophet, then the title prophet would be a title with.
This guy is so disingenuous. Listen how he mixed apples and oranges. He says that they were both members, trying to imply there is no need for a secession. The only secession that we're talking about is that the leadership that Prophet Noble Drew Ali left in place. And we all agree that it was Emilio. Now, the flip side of the argument is that the government co-opted by the way of Kirkman Bey. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it was a little dispute. I'm saying that the government co-opted, sent Kirkman Bey to turn the movement inside out. And you represent that today. And that's why people, little children, history books, never heard about the Moorish Science Temple of America because the government co-opted by the way of Kirkman Bey. This is the argument. This is not no little skirmish. I showed the last video that the Kirkman Bey was, for all intents and purposes, was an informant. He was an informant. Before the FBI was named the FBI, he was an informant.
In the organization. It's not.
All right. So let's. I want to stay on. The first question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when, just for lack of a better term, successor,
Yes.
brothers or sisters.
If you watch this brother closely, he actually reading questions that Sharif sent him.
Talk about Miliel was the successor.
Right. It's incorrect. Incorrect. I'll tell you why it's incorrect, because the same individuals, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I won't say they know, but they should, and it's easy to find out. If you read Act 1 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, the Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Symbol of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Symbol of America. That's the first sentence. What do you have there, people? You don't have a monarchy. You don't have a dictatorship. You get it now?
Yeah.
You don't have those things.
What did he just say? He just said a whole bunch of nothing. He literally said a whole bunch of nothing. He literally said a whole bunch of nothing.
You have checks and balances. You see?
Right.
Okay.
Just with that statement alone, the successor talk is kind of thrown out of the window, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't set it up that way to where he could just pass someone the successor position.
No, it all depends on, and I'm gonna keep coming back to this one as well.
Listen to what he said. He said the Prophet didn't set it up like that, but in a future video that I'm going to share with you, he also says that Miliel didn't pick himself. Watch this. Hold on. Let's use this. In this letter right here that everybody used and said that it's legit, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet said, there is no salary tapped to this work, etc., etc. Returning from a trip around the other temples one morning in front of the home office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, the Prophet said to me, Miliel, bro, Millie, you will study up on all my laws to prove yourself, because you will have to do what I am doing. What does that sound like to you? You will go around to all the temples and report back to me. So you read up on my Quran, questionnaire, constitution, try to perfect on all its subjects, so you may act intelligence and along all lines of procedures. What does that sound like to you? Hold up. Now, people like this line right here they use, and if you leave for any length of time, give Kirkman Bey, see Kirkman Bey, give the keys to see Kirkman Bey. Right? They use that line to believe that Kirkman Bey is supposed to be the head of the organization. But the same way they can interpret that is the same way that I can interpret it, the way I wish to interpret it. And the way that I wish to interpret it is the same way where Judas was the treasurer. If you understand the story of Judas, when Jesus put the oil on the lady's feet, and it says, Simon Peter therefore beckoned. Let's go up to 21. I think this is John, Luke. Which one? No, this is John, I think. It says, when Jesus had said he was in troubled spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say that one shall betray me. Then the disciples looked at one another, doubting whom he spoke. Now there were leaning on Jesus' bosom one of the disciples whom Jesus loved. Simon Peter therefore beckoned on him, and he shook as, who is it shall be of whom he spake? He then lying on Jesus' breast said unto him, Lord, who is it? Jesus said, he it is to whom I shall give sop. When I have dipped it, and when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. And after the sop, Satan entered into Judas. Then Jesus said to him, that thou doest quickly. Now, no man at the table knew for what intent he spoke this unto him. For some of them thought because Judas had the bag, he had said to him, buy those things that we need of against the feast, that he should give something to the poor. Now let me break that down in modern terms for you. Judas was the treasurer. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, I want you to think of this concept. Judas was the treasurer of Jesus' crew. Because there was money missing, and Judas was also stingy with the precious oil, it wasn't hard for Jesus to see that Judas would betray him for some silver. So it's not some divine guess. It's just if someone is the treasurer and money ain't right, it just makes sense that this will be the one that will betray you. So when I look at Give Kirkman Bey the keys, we already know, and I'm going to tell you what's missing at the end of this. We already know that this is going to be the one that betrays the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because of something that he's holding in his possession and that he was kidnapped for. It's no different than yesterday. Whether people believe in the Bible or not, these stories are stories that are ancient stories, and yesterday is today and today is tomorrow. This is just how it happened. Different actors, different people, different set of circumstances, same story. Whether Judas ever exists, whether Jesus ever exists, it's the same story. It's always one who you think is a trusted one will be the one that betray our people. And this is why it's so important for us to check one another's integrity. This is what the message says to me, that we must check ourselves, because Judas was the treasurer. He held the money. And this, Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, and if you leave any left from time, give the keys to bro C. Kirkman Bey. That don't make C. Kirkman Bey to get no movement or to be some highly important person. No. Remember, Judas held the bag. That's enough so they can show themselves. Remember, leaders, prophets, and those who come to help our people, they give themselves as a sacrifice. And so they do things so you can see, so you won't repeat it later. Many of us don't understand the wisdom why they do what they do, but they're doing it as an example so you can see today. But many people just take it as a story. I don't take it as a story. I see it as it is right now. I see it right as it is. Now, with that being said, and everybody hold that letter as if it's legitimate. So we're going to leave it right there as if it's legitimate. Now let's go to the next one. Let's get to the next one. So we did the 1929 who ran the organization, and that he recanted the title. Let's see. Let's go to Sister Delia Miliel. Sister Delia Miliel is so disingenuous. Sister Delia Miliel is E. Miliel wife. And there's a story that Delia tried to take over the organization after the passing of E. Miliel. Now, So let's get into that real quick. Let me bust that out the park real quick. And I'm going to tell you, family, like I said, after this, I ain't got nothing else to say because this guy is making up stuff. He hasn't brought one receipt. He's just making up stuff. And it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get the book. That's it. You're going to have to get the book. It just doesn't make sense for me to waste my time. And I'll do this on the other channel from now on. Because we got bigger fish to talk about. Now, let's go with this.
Bailey Hill assistant chairman. This was in 1961. So this is evidence to what Brother William Morris Hill said in 1935 about Brother Emily Hill's widow. That even as late as the 60s, her husband had died in 1934. Even as late as the 60s, she was still saying that he is the Supreme Grand Sheik. Here's a letter from 1981.
I'm going to show you how disingenuous he is. Family, notice he doesn't screen share to show you the letter. You notice that? He says he shows it to you side camera. Press 7 if you notice that. He shows it to you side camera. Let me rewind and show it to you one more time.
Bailey Hill assistant chairman. This was in 1961. So this is evidence to what Brother William Morris Hill said in 1935 about Brother Emily Hill's widow. That even as late as the 60s.
That's a lie. Roderick McClary L. She did not sell us out. Anytime they want to disrespect a group of people, one of the first thing they do is they use the woman. She didn't sell us out. She was trying to preserve whatever she could. What he's showing you, and I'm going to share it with you, what he's showing you is a letter acknowledging Bailey Hill. He's showing you a letter acknowledging Bailey Hill. This is the letter. She's not saying that he's the Grand Sheik and Chairman or Supreme Grand Sheik as in reality. What she's doing is she's showing the secession. Prophet Noble Drew Ali founder. That's her handwriting. Bro, Emily Hill, Supreme Grand Sheik. That's her handwriting. Bro, O. Lewis L. Bro, Bailey L. And then she got the secretary and the what's that is the She's showing the secession. She's not saying he's literal the Supreme Grand Sheik. And one thing that you have to know is that the idea is that they tried to overthrow Emily Hill, and so the whole movement as administration fell apart. And what she did was preserve what she could. And she recognized the only Supreme Grand Sheik appointed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, which was her husband. So he's being disingenuous again. Listen, let me show you this real quick. Let me give you another example real quick. This guy is so disingenuous, it doesn't make sense. Let me show you. Let me show you this. Here we go. Let me give you another example of what she did. If I can find it. I think this might be it. Let me see. No, hold up. Let me find it. I want to make sure that you understand. Here it is, right here. All right. Is this it? No, I don't think this one is. This is a convention minutes. That's not it. I'm going to show you something. What she did in 1936. You're going to see in a second. Is this it? Here it is, right here. So what she's doing is, she's not saying that he's the literal. This is the 1936. Let me get the insert. She's not saying that he is the literal, if I can find it. She's not saying that he's the literal Supreme Grand Sheik. What she's saying is, I'm gonna find it real quick. What she's saying is that she's acknowledging him as the Grand Sheik as appointed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Not. I want to find this flyer real quick. Give me 1 second. 1936. Where you at? Where's the insert? I'm looking for the insert so you can see on there exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But what he's trying to do, he's trying to flip history that doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. Which one is that? Hold on. I'm going to find it before I get out of here. I got it because I showed it last one. But he's trying to flip history that doesn't exist. She's not saying that he's not in the flesh. So of course, like it's so ridiculous that he would use that claim that, oh, she's trying to make him the Grand Sheik when he's not even living. No. She's saying that's it right there. The Prophet made him Grand Sheik. She's acknowledging him. And that's it. Not that he's the literal living Grand Sheik. Everybody know he had passed away. Stop being disingenuous. Come on. Stop being disingenuous. I'm going to find it in a minute. I'll go back to my old slides and I'll pull it up and I'll show you that on the program of 1936, she acknowledges Emanuel in writing. Everybody knew he was passed away, but she's only acknowledging him in writing. Like that's insane that one would even consider. This was it. Hold up, my bad. This was it. I'm sorry. This was it. This is the 1936 flyer for the convention. And on here, you see Noble Drew Ali founder, bro, Emanuel Supreme Grand Sheik. Not that he's the literal Supreme Grand Sheik. She acknowledging him. Just like, that's the only Supreme Grand Sheik appointed by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So, of course, she acknowledging him. And now, the movement is still going on. Now, one of the questions that Sharif tried to imply that she tried to take over the movement. How is she taking over the movement? Make this make sense. Give me 1 second. If she's trying to take over the movement, right? Why in the world would she, if I can find it right quick, if she's trying to take over the movement, why would she appoint somebody as chairman? Why wouldn't she just be the Supreme Grand Sheikess? Hello? If she's trying to take over the movement, why won't she just be the Supreme Grand Sheikess? Why don't she be the chairperson? Why? She actually appoints Harlan Bey. She ain't fighting for no position. The reason why, let me see if I can find the other thing that he said. Let me get this.
Bailey Hill assistant chairman. This was in 1961. So this is evidence to what Brother William Morris Hill said in 1935 about Brother Emil Hill's widow. That even as late as the 60s, her husband had died in 1934. Even as late as the 60s, she's still saying that he is the Supreme Grand Sheik.
So disingenuous.
Here's a letter from 1981.
Here we go. So what he's saying is that Moorish L, who's supposed to be the assistant to Emil, he was arguing with Delia Emil. But what he doesn't tell you what that argument was about. What the argument was about is she was arguing with Moorish L because Moorish L was working with Kirkman Bey. And she would not turn over anything from Temple Number 1 to Moorish L. Because Moorish L was being a double agent for Kirkman Bey. As you can see, this is Kirkman Bey roster after he got started. And who is Grand Sheik of Temple Number 1 for Kirkman Bey? Somebody say it with me. Moorish L. Emiliel's assistant. This is why her and Moorish L didn't get along. Because she knew he was an infiltrator. She knew he'd been bought, sold. And so in that letter, Moorish L saying she would not cooperate with me. But this is why. Why should this sister cooperate with him if he's sleeping with the enemy? Why? That doesn't make sense. Why should she cooperate with him and he's sleeping with the enemy? She's trying to do what the prophet says. She's trying to preserve this holy and divine movement. So what does she do? Her being the wife of Emiliel, accepted by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and they trying to say that she wasn't a sheikess. What? What? Everybody know the story. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it was said that Prophet Noble Drew Ali told Emiliel before he can be the Grand Sheik and chairman, he would have to find a wife. He went and found Delia Emiliel, and obviously Delia was approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because she defended the movement. She defended the movement even in Emiliel's absence. What are you talking about? They slandered that sister. If it wasn't for Delia Emiliel, we wouldn't have Belial right now with the records to show us what this movement looked like. Belial has passed form. But if Delia Emiliel would have sold out, if Delia Emiliel, we would never know what we're talking about right now. See, the difference is that Belial, which is the grandson of Delia Emiliel, was able to preserve enough of Temple Number 1 so we know what it looks like. Now you tell me that ain't a miracle of God with all of this infiltration that was lying for 100 years. And you mean tell me that Delia Emiliel is not a sheikess, yet she was able to preserve everything in the midst of this government infiltration by Kirkman Bey and all of those over there? The sister held it together. And the sister wasn't taking no 1 nickels. And they slandered the sister. And to this day, they still slander the sister. But we here to set the record straight. If it wasn't for Delia Emiliel, none of y'all would know what it looked like. He's sitting up there holding a letter with Delia Emiliel's signature on it. Why does he have that letter? If you don't believe that there's any legitimacy to it, why are you holding that letter? Talking about, oh, she's still calling him a Grand Sheik and he's dead. You know what it takes. You a Mason, boy. You know she's symbolizing the position held by her husband, not in literal sense. You know better. But you are a Grand Sheik of what? You are a liar. And you can't be trusted. You are dangerous. You are dangerous because you lie. And you know you're lying. You're playing word games. And only your disillusioned friends can't see through it. But the evidence called for what it is. This is why I'm going to walk this one down. I don't care if it's me and T. Moody L up in here by herself. Cryptonomics, Sister Robin, or McClary L. We could be two people in here. I'm going to walk this one down tonight. We're going to walk it down. I don't care who in the comment section. We're going to walk this one down tonight. Me and Mullins Bay, we're going to walk it down tonight. Because I ain't finished. We got a lot. We got quite a few more to go. Now, we're going to walk it all the way down. Let's get into the court case. Let me see if we can get into the court case. Let me find the court case. Here we go.
Question. Go ahead, Brother Mikey. Yes, sir.
What about the cases Mealy Ill won, the court cases? Any of those on record?
Most of the people that talk about, or most of the people, or let me not say most of the people. Most of the time,
don't get dizzy, Yasmin.
Mealy Ill won this case, Mealy won that case. If you ask them what the case was about, they can't tell you. Okay, they can't tell you. Okay. Here is what we know.
I want you to notice that every time he speaks and he say what we know, he never show what he know. Every time he speaks, he says, here's what we know. But he never shows what he knows.
What we know is that there was an injunction placed on Brother Mealy Ill. There was another injunction attempt that wasn't filed properly, and the judge dismissed it. Okay. There was...
Why don't he show all of this? Why isn't he showing all of this? This is the press secretary of MST of A, Inc. Why is he showing this? He had a whole month to prepare. Why is he just talking?
A property case. A property case, in other words.
Do you know he had over 100 slides, 200 slides for Reggie? Wouldn't he be trying to prove to the membership of MST of A, Inc. with more intensity than this? Wouldn't he be trying? Don't it make sense that he will be trying to, he's talking. Wouldn't it make sense that he take this opportunity to make the members proud that he's standing on truth with receipts? This is a horse and pony show. Family, if you are part of the organization, wouldn't you be proud that one of your scholars is able to shut up a loud mouth like Tarharka Bey that you want to characterize as a YouTube sensationalist? Wouldn't it make sense that you go all out and knock it out the park? Wouldn't that make sense? But why isn't he showing anything? Because he doesn't have anything. He is used to babbling his way out of these conversations. That's what he's used to. He's used to talking his way and convincing people of the most ridiculous stuff. But he don't get to do that right here no more. There's a new Moorish American that is being developed, connected to the old Moorish American that the Prophet Noble Ali taught. And we show and prove. And if you can't show and prove, you lose. And anybody that's following that, just know that you're following a lie and there's nothing divine about it. The only thing divine about your journey with the Prophet is your personal relationship. But from an administrator's perspective, ain't no New Jerusalem coming out of that. The only thing divine is your personal relationship with the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But from an administrative point of view, they're going to walk you down to the depths of hell. Because that's the only thing a lie can do. I'm going to walk it down, Crip.
Personal property. Was it property of the organization or was it personal property of media? In all of these instances, it was not Moorish Science Temple of America versus Moorish Science Temple of America.
Listen.
It was Moorish Science Temple of America versus Brother Edward Meany.
Listen to what he said. In all of these instances, it wasn't Moorish Science Temple of America versus Moorish Science Temple of America. It was Moorish Science Temple of America versus Emily L. And I'm going to explain that, why it's like that later. But for now, let me just share this with you. For now, you can file a case however you want to file it. You can file a case as the Moorish Science Temple of America tomorrow. That don't mean that you are the legitimate Moorish Science Temple of America. But look what Wendell E. Green, the attorney, wrote to Emeliel. Mr. Emeliel, Moorish Science Temple of America, a corporation, Chicago, Illinois. Dear sir, kindly acknowledge in receipt of $120 for professional services rendered in the case of Moorish Science Temple of America, a corporation by C. Kirkman Bey versus Emeliel. A corporation by who? By C. Kirkman Bey. A corporation by who? This is to further state that the verdict was entered in favor of the defendant, which was yourself, Emeliel, by Judge Eppelhart in the Municipal Court, Room 913, on May 7, 1931, case number 1746990. What that means is that you can go look up the case for yourself. Kirkman Bey tried to take him. He couldn't get control of the organization the way that he thought he had, because he had a piece of paper that claims that he was the organization. We're going to talk about that paper in a minute, but he couldn't get control of it. So he decided to take Kirkman Bey to court and call himself the Moorish Science Temple of America, and he lost. And he lost. Now, this is why his attorney, referring to him, Brother Emeliel, Moorish Science Temple of America, a corporation. Now, with that being said, who is the attorney? Let's talk about the attorney. There you go, Mr. Wendell Green, Mr. Wendell, yeah. Mr. Wendell is the brother who handled the case. This is for the book, so I'm not going to go too far deep in it, but Mr. Wendell handled the case. You feel me? Here's Mr. Wendell bio. Wendell Epper Green was born in Topeka, Kansas. His father, a native of Bermuda. Green graduated from the University of Kansas in 1908 with a degree in chemistry. In 1910, he worked as a druggist in the St. Joe's, Missouri drugstore. He married Lorraine Richardson in 1912 in Harrison, Missouri, just south of Kansas City. Green moved to Chicago in the mid-1910 for Wendell to study law at the University of Chicago. There he met Eric B. Dickerson, and the two received their LLB degrees at the same time and received their law license on the same day, December 10th, 1920. The two also briefly shared office after becoming lawyers. Green was defense attorney in the 1920s. He also was active in Cook County Bar Association. In 1925, he helped to form the National Bar Association, became the first secretary. In 1930, Green became the assistant public defender for Cook County and served 6 years on the Chicago Civil Service Commission. In 1940, Green served as president of the board of trustee in the Providence Hospital, the African American hospital founded a half-century earlier by Dr. Daniel Haley Williams. Future Illinois attorney and First Lady Michelle Obama was born at Providence. In 1942, Green was Cook County municipal judge, becoming the first African American to become judge in Illinois. In 1950, Illinois Governor Adel Stevenson appointed him circuit court judge, again becoming the first African American ascended to the circuit court. What are you talking about? See, we can look this up, family. We can look this up. We can look this up. You know what I mean? We can look this up. So what I'm saying is he had a real attorney. Now, I'm not going to give up too much because this is a history book that need to go into colleges. This is a history book that people need to know the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America outside the religious persuasion. Because too many people write books of the Moorish Science Temple of America and they put their religious connotations in it, and don't nobody want to hear that garbage. Because you don't know what you're talking about, half of you that be writing these books. And all of you people that's smiling and holding hands, bigging up these lies, all you sheiks around here calling yourself sheiks, bigging up lies, you're not to be trusted either. All of y'all supporting these lies. All of y'all in the peanut gallery clapping over lies. You're not to be trusted either. And the world see you. The Moorish world see you. You're not to be trusted either. They see you clapping over lies. They see you supporting lies. Sitting up there talking about we got a holy prophet, but you decimate his name. You don't honor the prophet, honoring lies. You don't honor the Moorish Science Temple of America, honoring those who perpetuate lies. And you know who you are. From the ATL to the NYC, back out west, and everything in between. You know who you are. You're honoring people who honor lies and claim that you're moving on the strength of the prophet. I wouldn't trust you far as I can see you. I wouldn't trust you as far as I can see you. Out of one side of your mouth, you're talking about the Prophet Noble Ali as a holy and divine prophet, and out the other side of your mouth, you're trying to be buddy friend with people who lie. For what? For what? That's why in private, your life is hell. That's why in private, you're going through it. Ain't nothing but lies. Oh, we're going to walk this down tonight. We're going to walk this down tonight because we ain't going to have this conversation no more. I mean, I'm talking to kings from now on. Well, I disagree with a king, but I'm not disagreeing with no liar. That's one thing we ain't going to do. We ain't going to sit up here and disagree with no liar because that's all a liar does. That's all he does is lie. So why I'm going to sit up here and entertain that? Doesn't make sense. Now, we almost there. Let's walk it on down. We almost there. Let's walk it all down. So we did the chairman. We did the 1930. We did the no minutes. We did that. Now, let's walk it on down. Let's walk it on down. This guy is so disingenuous that he writes this 10 hours ago. Islam. In the Moorish Guy article Friday, September 1928, in an article entitled Tickets on Sale at Home of Moorish Temple, Many Benefits, we find a portion of the article that when Bro Claude Green Bey was still loyal to the prophet, that there are many organizations who was bring their meetings there. The various lodges of all orders can be easily reached, which means these organizations work together as a unit. That's a lie. That's a lie. What he's trying to say is that this is why this is a response. He's trying to say that the Masons was working with the Moors. I don't dispute that, but what he's doing is being disingenuous. I don't dispute that. Many Masons joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, but they had to ultimately choose. Now, let me say this. He's being disingenuous again, and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove he's being disingenuous. He's saying that all Moors are working together. We're going to read that article in 1 second. We're going to read that article in 1 second. Here we go. Now, let's read this article that he got cramped up in there, and let's see what it says. And then we're going to go back and read what he said. This is the one on the left-hand side. On the south side, the historical institution are known by people in every walk of life because it's the place in the community life of South Side. It is such from time that all who live in the radius of 20 blocks pass through this hall, and some occasions others. Organized effort will put everything together in needs, religious, civic, political, etc., etc. Right? So it's talking about Unity Hall. This is the article that he posts. Sharif, this is what he posts. And he's trying to claim that this verifies that we all work together. In the matter of putting over these excursions, it was readily seen by officials of different roads that the organized effort was what Unity Hall is needed. At Unity Hall, Mr. Green, headquarters, there are many organizations who bring all their meetings there. I'm going to show you how disingenuous he being. The various lodge of all orders can be easily reached, which means that these organizations work as a unit. It is, he's talking about lodges. It is thus that many people can be reached where otherwise it would be practically impossible, save from a mass of advertisement, a part of which serve no good whatsoever. The history of Unity Hall. It's talking about lodges meeting. Not talking about meeting with the Moorish Science team. It's talking about lodges meeting. But to underscore what I'm saying is this. When you look at Unity Hall, right? I'm about to bring something to you. When you look at Unity Hall, let me share this with you. Let me bring one for you. Let me bring a couple advertisement for you from Unity Hall, if you will. I should have had this ready, but let me see what this one say. That ain't one. Give me 1 second. Unity Hall. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you Unity Hall would literally house almost anything if they had the money. Hold on 1 second. They would literally house anything if they had the money. Because Claude Green was the manager of Unity Hall. There we go. We got one. I think we got one. Let me see. I think we got one right here. Claude Green was the manager of Unity Hall. So the Unity Hall, is that it? I'm trying to find one of the ads where Claude Green is advertising for people to use Unity Hall. Had nothing to do with what he's trying to say. Had nothing to do with what he was trying to say. Claude Green was the manager of Unity Hall. So of course, if he's the manager of Unity Hall, then he's going to be marketing to get anybody to rent the space. This is how Claude Green was able to say, you are not welcome here no more. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you gotta go. You hear what I say? And so when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was kicked out of Unity Hall, here we go. Got it. About to show you to you right now. Here we go. So he's being disingenuous again, as always. So let me show you what Unity Hall was for. This is why everybody would meet there. Had nothing to do with what he's talking about. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Let's walk them down. Okay. And I ain't even playing this one. Here we go. Claude Green, real estate, sold, rented, and managed, 3140 Indiana Avenue. Chicago, Secretary, Chicago Boosters Civic Club, Manager, Unity Civic Club, Building, Phone, Unity Hall, Hospital, Hospitable and Convenient, Public Gathering Place. He's being disingenuous again. Unity Hall, hospitable and convenient, public gathering place, has every facility for wilts, parties, breakfast, and evening. The Moorish Science Temple of America did not own Unity Hall. It was a place of gathering, and this is why you read here that in the matter of putting over these excursions, it's readily seen the officials of different roads that organized effort was what needed at Unity Hall. Mr. Green's headquarters. There are many organizations who bring all their meetings there. Why? Why? Because Unity Hall is a hospitable and convenient public gathering place. Has nothing to do with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America housing Temple number 1 there. Has nothing to do with that. That's where the misunderstanding comes for people that don't know the history of Unity Hall. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, they rented the basement and they rented a couple offices. And other organizations rented other space there. So this is disingenuous. Convenient public place has every facility for what's parties, breakfasts, and evening dances, balls, receptions, banquets, club meetings, rehearsal, fraternal meetings. Let me blow it up for you. Can you see? Press 7 if you can see. Fraternal meetings, church services, conventions, and amateur shows. Can you see it? Can you see it? Press 7 if you can see it. What's wrong with that boy? What matter with him? What matter with him? He tried to make it look like that the Masons and the Moors was in unison, which we crossed paths, and I'm quite sure some worked together. But the whole point to be so disingenuous, you speak as the devil speak. You speak as the devil speak. You being disingenuous, bro. And you know it. That's the problem. And you know it. You're being disingenuous. He gonna post this on his temple page. Listen to what he says. Now let's read it again. Now that we know what the Unity Hall was used for, let's read it again. Let's read it again. Islam. In the Moorish Guy article on Friday, September 28, 1928, in an article entitled Tickets at the Sale at Home of the Moorish Temple, Many Benefits, we find a portion of the article that when Bro Claude Green Bey was still loyal to the Prophet, that there was many organizations who bring their meetings there. The various lodges of all orders can be easily reached, which means that these organizations work together as a unit. This is a reference of Unity Hall, etc., etc. Disingenuous. It was a place like the Elks Club that people rent. It was a place just like any other place, a civic place that people rented. This guy Sharif Bey is disingenuous, and he's a flat out liar. He's a flat out liar. You follow what I'm saying? So the brother that say, how do I know that was response to me? Because I'm the only one that point out the Masonic presence of the overthrow and the transitioning of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's movement. I'm the only one point that out. There's no one else that point that out, not with a voice like mine. Now, let's walk it on home. Brother Mullins Bey, are you in the building? I'm sorry that I got to call your name out, but are you in the building? Anybody that watched the video in the building, is there a question that I need to answer? Huh? Is there a question that I need to answer? Because I'm about to give some commentary on some of the videos now. I think I showed enough receipts to back up my claims that this guy is disingenuous. But I'm going to play some of his videos. I'm going to play some of his videos and comment on them. And I might dig up some receipts. Did I miss anything, anybody? Did I miss anything? Because we ain't talking about this no more. We got bigger things to do. We got time to play these games. Listen, family. If they were talking the truth, why is it? This is what he said. He learned that lesson from me, Crip. Here we go. Brother C. Kirkman Bey is the Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator. That's a lie, as the head of the organization in 1929. Then, this guy supposed to be in place as Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator. Then Blakely Bey is the Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator. Why is it that it changes from Supreme Grand Sheik, Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator to Grand Sheik and Moderator? Why? Why? The Prophet Noble Ali never instituted that as a leadership as a leadership title. Now, with that being said, let me answer a Crip question. He said he's being disingenuous again, Crip. Let me pull it up for you. Let me pull it up for you. He's being disingenuous again. He said the Supreme Grand Sheik is not the head of the organization. That's what he says. He's being disingenuous. I have a presentation where I lay out the myth of the Supreme Grand Sheik. Let me see if I can share it real quick. Because like I said, we're going to walk this one down. Let me see if I can share it. Let me see. Bam. I'm going to try to share this. Let me see if I can share this. All right. I'm on this system. I used to have this part, but let me see if I can share it. So let me see. I'm going to say display capture. Hold up. No, I don't want to do that. Let me see. Let me see. It's a window capture. Maybe that. There we go. Bam. Got it. All right. Now, Crip. Here we go. Now, let's break this on down real quick for my good brother Crip. All right. So, in this, I talk about the myth of the Supreme Grand Sheik. And what I'm talking about is people who claim to be Supreme Grand Sheiks, right? So when we look at this, Emanuel is the Supreme Grand Sheik from 1929 all the way to 1930 until his passing. You follow me? He's the Supreme Grand Sheik. Now, the part that Sharif is playing games with is this. He's being disingenuous. The part that he's being, let me get back on my screen. The part that he's being disingenuous about is Emanuel was the Supreme Grand Sheik of the Supreme Grand Council, which is true. And I broke that down. He watches my videos. They don't even believe that the Supreme Grand Council is a fact. So why is he talking about that? Makes no sense to me. In their administration, they say that the Prophet dissolved the Supreme Grand Council. Yet, he says that he was given the Supreme Grand Advisor title maybe to be on the Supreme Grand Council. You can't have it both ways. I'm going to play the video in a minute. So the Supreme Grand Sheik is the head of the Supreme Grand Council according to Prophet Noble Ali. The Grand Sheik and Chairman is the head of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Consequently, Emanuel had held both titles. And sometimes he uses the title Supreme Grand Sheik. Sometimes he uses the title Chairman. Sometimes he uses the title Grand Sheik. It depends on what he's talking about or what. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. All right. So, I'll give you an example. Right here, he refers to himself as chairman. Because he's exacting law as a chairman. When he tells Kirkman Bey that they ratified him holding his position as a member of the organization. And he's using the title chairman. Supreme Grand Sheik of the Supreme Grand Council is like a jurist. They find what is the Supreme Grand Sheik of the Supreme Grand Council. So you got council members, and they go by the prophet works to see what is, as in the prophet words, what is injurious to the Moorish Science Temple of America and what is sound. And they go by 3 doctrines. They go by the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaw, as well as the questionnaire. And what they do, when a problem arises, they use those documents to decide if people are in the law or outside the law. Emiliel was the Supreme Grand Sheik of the Supreme Grand Council, so he was the chair. He would chair the meeting of the council. But within there's other members where they have a quorum to find out if a law is violated or if new laws is to be instituted. But consequently, Emiliel was also the Grand Sheik and chairman. So in convention time, you might see Emiliel has using the title Supreme Grand Sheik. Why? Because at convention time, they are ratifying laws that the Supreme Grand Council has decided what will go into law and what will not. The Supreme Grand Council is in session during convention, so he's using the title Supreme Grand Sheik during convention or whenever they go into session. You follow me? Now, I don't want to complicate it because it's not that complicated. I mean, when you look at right here in 1931, again, you see him using chairman in 1931. He used the term chairman on the flyer. Now, let me see if I can find the one where, okay. In this picture right here that was put together during the time of the prophet, the inscription on the picture this is Emiliel. The inscription on the picture is Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1928. This picture was taken while the prophet was living. Would the prophet have him, Emiliel, take a picture with R.D. Jones with the inscription on it that he's the Grand Sheik of Moorish Science Temple of America, Chicago, 1928, if he wasn't in charge? That doesn't even make sense. Find a picture with Kirkman Bey in 1928. Where is it? Where is it? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The prophet sanctioned Emiliel. So sometimes he uses the term Supreme Grand Sheik. It depends what type of business is going on. And sometimes he uses chairman. Sometimes he uses Grand Sheik. It all depends what type of business is being conducted. You follow what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know what I mean? It's like for example, the President of the United States, he is Commander-in-Chief. He's the President of the United States. What other title do we have? Commander-in-Chief, President of the United States. Anybody know what else? He have a couple titles. But it depends on what he's operating in is how the title is used. And it's the same thing with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, my question would be, what about Kirkman Bey? What about Kirkman Bey? These people can't prove anything. Nothing. Now, hold up. Let's get it. Because we got a little bit more to go. If I'm missing something, I want y'all to let me know. And even that Moorish New Year is a lie made up. Happy Moorish New Year. No such thing. There's no such thing as a Moorish New Year. That's a lie made up. You know what that's all about? We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about that in a minute. I'm going to knock that out the park too. They made that up too. Moorish New Year. That's pseudo. They made that up too. They made that up too. Let me tell you how they made it up. Yeah, this is off record, but we're going to go there too. We're going to go there too. You want me to tell you how they made it up? Let me see if I can break this down and read it to you. Hold up. I might have to pull out the real deal. Let me see what I got. It says, please inform the followers that Friday after my birthday is New Year. I will be... Let me get the actual letter, because y'all tripping. Y'all following anything. Stop letting people tell y'all this stuff. Stop letting people tell you this stuff. Let me get the actual letter. That's right. I know you want to follow this stuff, but I'm gonna give you the actual letter now. We follow anything somebody tell us. I mean, because we like to be drug around by our noses. But I knock this stuff out the park. I don't follow craziness that don't mean nothing to me. I mean, I know people get mad because they want to follow this stuff. I know, but here we go. Here is the letter where they got this Moorish New Year from. Meeting at Community Center, 3140 Indiana Avenue. Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, January 10th, 1929. Anybody that been in the temple under my leadership, they know that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't even in Chicago, January 10th, 1929. Notice, Islam, please inform all members the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. I am well and we had a nice time. Hope you all did likewise. May the blessings of our Father God Allah be those. This is a forgery. This is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. Anybody know what Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature look like? This is a forgery. Hold up. This is a forgery. Forgery alert. This is a forgery alert. Let me finish. So they say the 15th. Check this out, Crip. Crip know about numbers. Check this out. Let me pull it up. Forgery alert. This is my next show that I'm doing on my next channel too. On the other channel. All right, let me see. Is that it? Let me get this out the way. Give me 1 second. Try and get this right here. Forgery alert. Hold up. Let me see. All right, let me open the number window. All right, forgery alert. This why they can't stand me. That's why they can't stand me. So they said the Friday after my birthday will be Moorish New Year's. So they say that Moorish New Year's is on the 15th. Is that right? Press 7, Moors. Don't they say that Moorish New Year's on the 15th? Is that what they say? Press 7, Moors. Those people over there told you that Moorish New Year's is the 15th, and they qualify it by this letter. I don't hear y'all talking. They qualify it by this letter. that the Friday after my birthday will be the Moorish New Year's. I need a 7. I need a 7 before I start. Please inform mamas that the Friday after my birthday is Moorish New Year's. They say Moorish New Year's is on the 15th. That's why the brothers say Moorish New Year. When is the Friday after Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday in 1929? What is the Friday after Noble Drew Ali's birthday in 1929? This is a 1929 calendar. It's not the 15th. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born January the 8th. It's not the 15th. They lied to you again. They got you chasing your tail with this fake stuff. But now let me give you the science of what they're trying to do. The reason why they say it's on the 15th is because they want to be Christians. Count from the 8. 8, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. How many days from the 15th? From the 8th to the 15th. How many days? 7 days. What is that consistent of? Count from the 25th to the 1st of the Gregorian calendar. And how many days you got? From Christmas to the 1st of the Gregorian calendar. They remixing Christianity with these people, man. They remixing Christianity. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us that we're returning the church and Christianity back to the Europeans because it was created for them. He didn't tell us to remix it. They remixing Christianity. That's all they doing. And people running around talking about Happy Moorish New Year. They did that. See, listen, the way that you confuse a people that has a divine message, all you got to do is discombobulate the message. All you got to do is twist the message up. They will never know how to find spiritual freedom or liberation. They will never know how to find physical freedom. They will never know. Because you just get them chasing their tail with meaningless nonsense. It's the bait and switch trick. The prophet, this is a forged signature. Listen. This is a forgery. This is a forgery. That is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. It's a forgery. It's all a forgery. When we put this all together, that the prophet said this on January the 10th, we look at the calendar, we look at the like, we're not getting to the science of all that your birthday is the day of the week you were born. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this letter. We're talking about this calendar. And we're talking about the Prophet of Muhammad. We're not going to get into any semantics. We're going to keep it so basic a child can understand. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it so basic a child can understand. Follow me? I mean, there's no need for us to remix anything. Because the prophet said his footprints is clearly cut. We don't need no metaphors. We don't need nothing. All we need is pure doctrine. That's it. So somebody says, show his signature. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me pull something up real quick. Hold on one second. Let me pull up his actual signature. And that's my next show on my next channel. Actually, I'm gonna break down all the misinformation and the fraudulent letters that they have put out. Hold on one second. Let me find it real quick. I think I got it right here. Actually, I think I got it right here. Hold up. I ain't got the signature with this. Hold up. I should have the signature with this. Hold on. Oh, man, I got to pull the signature out. Hold on one second. I'm slipping. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me pull the signature out. We almost done, family. I need about 5 more minutes. We done. And we ain't doing this no more. Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes. We ain't doing this no more. All right. Oh, I know what I get. I get it. For Sister Yasmin. Let me get it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get it. All right, here we go. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. I think I'm getting it now. Hold on. Hold up. I thought I was getting it. 1 second. Yeah, here we go. Let's get it. All right, here we go. I'm getting it. Wait on it. Because it's important that you see the signature. That's right. Let's show the receipts. We're going to put the signature next to that right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have it in a minute. That's right. Where you go at, buddy? Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay, here's the prophet signature. Matter of fact, let me snip it so we can put it side by side. Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. You know what I mean? Y'all just keep following the lie. That's all you. I'm telling you, we trying to build this thing. You want to get with the building, come on and build. Okay, here you go. Any mores want to get with the building, bring your integrity with you. Bring your integrity with you. That's all you got to do. Don't bring no lies. So here's the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. If you want to build this movement on truth, then you're welcome. Here goes the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. And here goes the fraudulent signature. And here's the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. Right here on this affidavit. Know the difference. Don't let nobody lie to you. Have you celebrating stuff that don't make sense. Have you celebrating stuff that don't make sense. They're lying to you. They trying to redirect the prophet's people. They trying to redirect God's people. This is why Sharif didn't show no receipts, because it don't have none. The devil can't bring receipts. Only God can bring receipts, because God is the creator. That's right. See, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us how to represent this doctrine. That's right. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us. Anybody who's followed truth, anybody who followed truth, the prophet will speak to your heart. You know what I'm saying? See, we don't believe when we talk about, see, this is why people talk about the ancestor this, ancestor that, and they heart ain't pure. I know they lying. I know they lying. But for those who heart is pure, man, it's easy to put this stuff together. It's easy to put this stuff together. Before I go, let me ask. I see Hannibal L. Before I go, I want to make sure. Hannibal L., did I miss anything? Kwali, did I miss anything? I'm going to show all the forgeries on my next presentation on the other channel. You know what I mean? Tell us about the big coats they wear, if you will. Oh, those are just uniform to make like people know something. Tell me what Kirkman Bey had on. Just look at the second letter O's. Try to connect the first letter N. It's clear no one writes like that. Yeah. All of this stuff is forgeries. Where's Sharif at? Where is he? Now, he can try to refute this all he want, but all he going to do is do babbling explanations. All he's going to do is babbling explanations. He will never be able to pull receipts like this. Never. He would never be able to pull receipts like this. What do you think about him saying no one succeeded the prophet? Already touched that. We already agreed on. I think we already touched that. You know what I mean? We already touched that. The prophet says itself. They agree on this letter. Hold up 1 second. They agree on this letter. They agree on this letter. They agree on this letter because they always use the term the keys. But in this letter, Prophet Emeliel says that Prophet Noble Drew Ali put him in position. Emeliel gives his whole history. You know what I mean? Hold on 1 second. Let's go over it real quick. They agreed that the letter is official because they use it all the time, Mullins Bay. Don't they use it? Don't they use the letters all the time? They use it all the time to claim that the prophet said, give them the keys. Ain't that the letter that they use? Now, and for Sharif to make this claim, I'm gonna throw y'all something. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna throw y'all something else real quick. I'm gonna save it for the book though. Where I'm at. I'm about to wrap it up. That claim that a prophet only succeeds a prophet is out of context. We know that prophets come behind prophets, but we're talking about an organization. The prophet established an organization. Prophet Noble Ali is one of the only prophets that established the organization. Name a prophet who established the organization. They're mixing them. He's trying to mix apples and oranges. We know that a prophet succeeds a prophet, but when a prophet establishes an organization, that organization must be in place so people know how to organize. So he didn't establish Emeliel as a prophet. He established him what he was. The Grand Sheikh and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And Emeliel ain't the end-all, be-all. Emeliel is the example of how to run this organization in the absence of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Emeliel is only the example. It was not supposed to go past Emeliel because if it was, it would have. From 1925 to Emilio being put in position is the blueprint of how we supposed to build the movement. So when they say Emilio made mistakes, of course he made mistakes because Emilio wasn't the prophet. However, the blueprint is set. The blueprint is that when the prophet is not in the flesh, the leader is the grand sheikh and chairman. The Supreme Grand Council is the council that go over what is real, what is not, what is acceptable, and what is not. The jurists. The grand body confirms that which the grand body confirms that which is put forth by the Supreme Grand Council or members of the grand body. So it's a whole operation. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole operation. And Kweli said the infiltrator messed everything up. No, they didn't. They didn't think that a Belial would survive outside of the infiltration. And when he appeared with all the information, they never imagined that one would come along and put it together and try with every ounce of our being to take it to the level where the prophet left us. You see what I'm saying? But it's going to take work. We got to build it. We got to build it. The toil, the work will have to be a joy for this to be built. Was Emilio both the grand body and Supreme Grand Council? No, that ain't how it worked. We breaks it down. That's a whole nother lesson that we teach in the Moorish Science Temple of America. What constitutes the grand body? What constitutes the Supreme Grand Council? Not one person don't constitute the Supreme Grand Council and one person don't constitute the grand body. I mean, it's a whole breakdown. I mean, they will direct you to the Moorish leader and said, do all business in the name of noble duality. We breaks that down too. That's not what they mean. That's not what the prophet meant. They don't know what they talking about, and I can prove it. But that'll take too long right now. But now let me show you something. Sharif Anael Bey, he made a statement. He says that many people, and I played it earlier, he said many people don't even know what the case looked like. They don't know about the case about Emilio. You know what I mean? They don't know about that. Nobody know what the case looked like. He's lying again. The Moorish Science Temple of America versus Emilio, I got the case. He's lying again. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Don't nobody know what the case is. They're just talking. He's lying again. He's lying again. They're just talking. He's lying again. He don't know what I have. He don't know what I have. He's lying again. Man, honor to Edwards L. Edwards L. Recently was talking and he mentioned that I am one that has extended his research. You understand what I'm saying? And Edwards L. deserves honor. Edwards L. deserves honor for all of this research right here. For all of this research. The whole thing about it is, if you didn't have any elders who was connected to one who was connected to the prophet, you're just going to have a lump sum of information. So if you get some information from Edwards L. or from anybody who has done research and they have archived the research, if you don't know the history, you won't be able to put it together. Because the way that this movement is set up, I always say that a crook can't steal it. There's no way you can steal it. For one thing, in order to piece this thing together like a puzzle, your heart got to be right. Because it's a holy and divine movement, and your intentions got to be divine. That doesn't mean you're perfect. That doesn't mean you're moving in perfection. That means your intentions are pure. When you listen to a person like Sharif Anael Bey, his intentions are not pure. And anybody that follows the lie, no matter how smooth they dress, whether it's Hopkins Bey, whether it's anybody, whether they talk soft, anybody that follows the lie, their intentions are not pure. Anybody that makes up stuff. I heard my brother Hopkins Bey say something to the effect that basically none of this stuff really matters at some point, because it's up to us to just serve the prophet, honor the prophet, etc., etc. Something he said like that, and I'm butchering it up, and I apologize to my brother for butchering his words. But in short, he just said this don't make a difference. This is a new day. But it does make a difference. Why, if it didn't make a difference, why did the prophet trace us back to northwestern, southwestern shores of Africa if history don't make a difference? If it don't make a difference, why did Prophet Noble Ali trace us to indigenous America? Why did he trace us back to the ancient land of Canaan? Why do he trace us back to the Nile Valley? Why do we trace us back? If it doesn't matter. If history doesn't matter, the Moorish Science Temple of America of all organizations are predicated upon history. So now, modern history of the Moorish Science Temple of America don't matter? The same brother that I shared the comments with, somebody sent me a video where he's saying, my Grand Sheik said to me that, and I ain't gonna play the video. He said, my Grand Sheik said to me, while we're arguing about Kirkman Bey and arguing about Emiliel, they're probably on the soul plane having a party. Family, if you are not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, then you might don't understand this, but I'm gonna make it simple. They think that the soul plane is far off on another planet, on another plateau, in another realm, where former human beings dwell and solve problems. When the Prophet Noble Ali taught the Moors that heaven, hell, and earth is not above, around, below, but within. And that the soul plane is just an ether vibrating not so fast. But it's not a place of meets and bounds. But the brother Barry Bey said that Kirkman Bey and Emiliel probably partying on the soul plane while we're arguing. And the soul plane is not even a place of meets and bounds. It's a state of mind. It's a state of spiritual evolution. In other words, you conquer the foes from a carnal perspective, and then there's the soul perspective, and then you elevate to the spiritual unfoldment, which we call fruition. It's not a place where Kirkman Bey and Miliel is partying, but this is the lies that they tell their people to hold on to them with a passive doctrine. There is no way that one can cause this much disinformation in a divine organization. Now, it was supposed to happen because we are supposed to look back and learn the lessons and build forward. But the person who have implemented this, there's no way that you can justify by saying they're partying on another plane. This is sad. And you mean tell me that we're going to be able to compete for the resources under our feet? That we're going to be able to compete with people who build missiles? That we're going to be able to compete with people who build their own planes? With people that build their own jets? With people that program computers? With people that program cars and computers in cars? You mean we're going to be able to compete and we're sitting up there talking about people are partying on a soul plane? Family, we've been set back. Not us, but those who follow this misinterpretation doctrine of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, this infiltrated doctrine that they attribute to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, they've been set back. They like in 1892. And it don't make sense. Well, I think I covered it all. And I'm about to get out of here now. Did I miss anything, McClariel? Family, please, I want y'all to share this to all your platforms because I ain't doing this no more. I ain't calling no more names. Sharif cannot get any attention because it's pathetic at this point. It's pathetic at this point. It's sad and it's pathetic. And for all the grand sheiks out there that are cheerleading this madness, that's your reward. That's your reward. And for all of those who are stealing the information that I present and try to water it down and write books on it, it's not going to sell because your intentions ain't good. I see you stealing the information and then shunning me. I see you. I know who you are. Stealing bits and pieces and then try to put it in book form. Ain't nobody gonna buy that trash. Ain't nobody buying it because your intentions ain't good. So you might as well take that trash and make it fuel for the fire. Don't waste your money. Take your money and put some food at the table of the poor because your intentions ain't good. I see you stealing. Try to publish a book with the information that I put out. I see you. It ain't gonna do you no good. Ain't nobody buying that trash. Don't nobody know you. Don't nobody believe you. You're too passive. You're too passive. You ain't got no backbone for truth. You weak. Jellyfish spine. The prophets say this is a movement for strong men and women. Upright, independent, and fearless. That we will protect this with our very life. You're too weak. You rather skin and grin. You rather shake hands and smile with capes on. Walk around with curly shoes, play along and get along. You rather look Moorish. But you got a heart of a string bean. And Sharif, you're just a soldier. You're just a soldier. You're just a soldier. You're not my equal. You're not my equal. You're just a soldier. You do as you're told. Because you know better too. You just do as you're told as a soldier. That's why you get up there babbling on the brother platform. That's why you get up there babbling, because you was told to get up there and babble. You was told to get up there and talk like you know something. You just a soldier. You take orders. We are not the same. Remember that. We are not the same. Got a nerve to go on the internet and say, oh, he's chasing me. Man, listen, you call my name, bro. I only use you as an example of what we shouldn't be doing. Only use your teachings as an example of what we shouldn't be doing. But you're just a soldier. You're a toy soldier with a battery in your back. You just want to be accepted. You want to be loved. You want to be loved by the devil. Because if you had any backbone, you would stand on the truth as you know it. Because you know the truth too. The devil knew the truth too. You know the truth. Of course you do. Of course you do. But with that being said, family, I think it's only appropriate that we shut the door on this case right here. And again, I want everybody to go to this brother, subscribe to him, NYP Talk Show, and listen to his response. Go check it out. He responds to my videos that I've already done. Check them out. But with that being said, I want to share something with you as I get out of here. You dig? Because this is insane. Conversation is over. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. All right? Now, I need to find, I'm looking for something real quick. Is this it? Is this it? Oh, hold up. Did I miss something? Oh, family. I missed something. Here we go.
Johnson Bey goes and grabs Mealy Eel. He later goes and kidnaps Brother Kirkman Bey in his home. Hold on. I want to ask you guys a question. If Brother Ira Johnson Bey, what I said is actual fact. I'm not trying to peer into the minds of people. This is just what happened, and this is the order in which it happened. That being said, if Ira Johnson Bey, who's trying to gain control of the movement, goes to Mealy Eel first and then goes to Kirkman Bey second, here's the question: why did he go to Kirkman Bey second?
I'm thinking more of why did he go to Mealy Eel first?
Period. Why did he go to Mealy Eel first?
Knock him out. Knock him off.
If we already know what his objective was, right? We know his objective was to take control of the movement. Yeah. So he went to who he thought had the authority.
Sharif just told on himself. He went to Mealy Eel first, but I'm going to show you why he went to Mealy Eel first. Let me finish.
Why would he then go and kidnap Kirkman Bey?
I'm about to tell you
why. Something that a lot of people don't know. Why would Mealy Eel be with him?
He's lying again. Johnson, let me play the other video first, because I'm going to just knock this out and get out of here.
1929, this was agreed to. And then you had a lot of tumultuous activity shortly after. This is where Ira Johnson Bey, I don't know if you've heard that name before, Ira Johnson Bey and his henchmen, they grabbed Mealy Eel. I need you to pay close attention to the timeline or the succession of events. They basically accost Mealy Eel for the purpose of trying to get their hands on whatever authority Abe would give them control of the movement.
Stop right there. Sharif know what it is. So family, back in the 20s, if you had the corporate filing of an organization like the deed of a house, you could actually transfer that in your name. Ira Johnson Bey went to Mealy Eel to try to get the corporate filing. For all intents and purposes, he will find out that Mealy Eel didn't have the corporate filing. That the corporate filing was actually stole by the business manager, Claude Green, and Kirkman Bey was in possession of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'll bring the receipts on this later. But do you understand what I'm saying? Give you an example. The corporate back filing back in the 20s was a piece of paper. You conducted business with the piece of paper. Whoever possessed this piece of paper could ultimately have the power. Now, it could be challenged. It could be challenged. Don't get it twisted. It could be challenged. But for all intents and purposes, if you got that corporate filing, then you can grab hold of the movement because the owner has transitioned. The owner has transitioned, which will be Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When Claude Green put Prophet Noble Drew Ali out the building, he took all the possessions as the business manager. Claude Green was the business manager. He took everything, including the corporate filing. Family, do you remember any old movie where somebody tried to get the deed of a house? They would hide the deed. They would bury the deed. They would put it in the attic. They would hold it sacredly because they knew if someone got that property deed or that deed of the house that they could use that and transfer it, and then you'd be fighting forever to try to get it back. And so they guarded it with their life. So the authority that they was looking for was the corporate filing. This is how Kirkman Bey is recognized as the Secretary of State today, because they stole the corporate filing by the way of Claude Green. Because the prophet didn't give it to Kirkman Bey. Email never was in possession of it. The business manager was. And this is why he took Email to court, calling himself the Moorish Science Temple of America, because he was in possession of the corporate filing. And he thought that the judge would side with him because he had that corporate filing. But what he didn't know is that Email and his attorney had receipts of the transition of power that was handed down to him by the prophet. And that's why Kirkman Bey lost. That's why he lost. Because Email could prove, and that's why, now I'm a mic drop it. That's why, 1 second. Now I'm a mic drop it. 1 second. Let me pull this back up real quick. This is why. I'm gonna give it to you 1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. Let me pull it back up real quick. Let me pull this back. I was about to shut down. You're going to like this. Hold up. Hold up. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. You're going to like this. I'm going to just give you a little glimpse. But this is why, family. If I can find it right quick. I just had it up, but I closed it out. I was about to walk. We're going to mic drop after this one. It's coming. It's spooling up. Hold on. Let me pull up Melia real quick. You're going to like this. Be patient. You're going to like it. Then we're going to give a big mic drop right now. Oh. That ain't it. Here we go. So this is why. Here we go. Here get the mic drop. I showed you something earlier about the court dates. All right. Here we go. Oh, let me mark it so you can actually see it. Y'all gonna get the book. When Emilio was taken to court and he won, he actually had to file to try to get paperwork back that was stolen. And what did he ask back? He asked for the charter, flags, corporate papers, badges, buttons, charms, identification cards, questionnaire, constitution, and general bylaws. One ADAPT book. Book and receipts, one grip, a notarial seal, all value at $200. He went to court. After he won, he filed this to have these things returned to him. It was an affidavit, and it was never returned. I ain't gonna show the whole letter. We're gonna save it for those who are interested in the story for real. But Emilio tried to get it back while he was in the court process. And that's why they don't have minutes, because Kirkman Bey went on a run and told everybody, do not teach Moorish science in public. Everybody that supported him, he silenced them and told them, don't teach it in public. Because he lost the case. And he was supposed to return the charter, the flags, and corporate papers. When I say the movement was hijacked, I said what I mean, and I mean what I say. So y'all can follow the lie all you want. The destiny of the Moorish Science Temple of America is predicated upon those who are ready to build it from the prophet's example. That's it, that's all. I'm the more you're going to remember.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. Tarharka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tarharka Bey front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine.
They went on the run, sis, Yasmin. They went on the run.
Speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European, how to bathe. And look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tarharka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tarharka Bey front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler, this era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for them people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock affairs. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you kill and fight and marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If You should let the wars grow. Come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That town. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharkabey front line till the law call my number.